Good morning, everybody in church. Hope everybody slept well and has rested. Can pay attention at church. No need to come to church if you're going to sleep in church, right? There's no reason. Church is not about salvation, so that's why if you come to church, let's learn something, right? And you cannot remember everything, but you pick something up and you take that for the rest of the week, right? So it's important to take something because the world is getting in there. And, when you don't go to church, the world is sucking you in to YouTube and to the news and to politics, and then before you know, you are involved in some discussions on the street about political parties and you forget all about God, right? So we should not do that. But this morning, the title of my sermon is Friends. Easy like that, Friends. Simple title. And we all have friends. Maybe you don't have friends, but you had friends then, right? We are friends to somebody, and we have friends. And it's really important to have friends. We are social creatures. We need to have friends. We need to talk to people. It's very important. You already saw that beginning to 2020 with the whole corona thing and everything. You know my opinion. But, one of the tragedies was not even the virus itself, but people with social distancing, right? And many people kept in their houses. And this country is blessed because everybody still is on the street. And when here was lockdown, I don't feel like a lockdown. Everybody was playing on the street and everybody was still talking. So I love that. But you got some places you are really isolated. United States, you got big flats and you stay in your little cubicle. And then people even got sick because of not talking to people. And there's many studies that show you when somebody is deprived of social connections, friends, families, they get sick, they get depressed, they get all kinds of things, just not because they talk with people. And you need to have friends. Friends are very good. But the next thing is you need to pick out your friends very carefully. Because a friend is close to you and knows a lot about your life because you let that person close to you, of course. So this friend can be a blessing or it can be a curse. So you have to be really careful. And if you're younger, I remember when I was younger, you want to have a lot of friends. The more friends, the more better, right? Because you feel like, that's good. If I have a lot of friends, that means I'm popular. That means I'm well known, And later in life, you get a little bit older. And then you think like, I'm good with a couple of friends. And then later you think like, hey, I got one or two good friends and that's enough. That's more than enough. Because you see the drama that brings friends also. But there's also in the Bible a lot of verses about friends. A lot of verses about friends, especially in Proverbs and Psalms, right? So we just already, let's go first to the Bible. Let's go to John 15:13. John 15:13. And this is an important one because this already shows you the best kind of friend. So let's start there. Like the best friend you can ever have. John 15:13. Here it says, you know the verse, right? Greater love had no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Well, this is the best friend you can have. So there are friends that even lay down their life for you. Well, I don't know if you have friends like that. I don't know if I have friends like that. I hope I can be a friend like that to somebody, but we don't know. But the Bible already tells you this is the best friend. Well, just when we started the sermon, we started to sing a couple of hymns. And we already sang like, what a friend we have in Jesus. And Jesus is the best friend because he actually did this. He laid down his life for us. So for Jesus, number one, the best friend you can ever have. Best friend, he laid his life down. But then we are humans on this earth. And think about it, You can call a lot of people your friends. I can tell, hey, this is my friend. But if you put that person, this person, get somebody in your mind. You have a friend, put it in your mind. And if you lay it to this next verse, this actually verse, how great is that friend? Do you really think, the Bible says examine yourselves, but you also have to examine your friends. And if you put this person next to this verse, how much is this friend away from this verse, right? Think about it. And that's how you examine your friends. And that doesn't mean you only have to have friends that lay down their life. But this is the best kind of friend. But if you have somebody in your mind right now, and you're like, no, this person will never put his life down for me. Is it a good friend then? Think about it. I don't say that this is necessary, but you have to have friends that really put their neck out for you, to really help you out. Because otherwise, why are they in your life? So this is the best kind of friend. But then now we go a little bit lower. So many people can say, I'm friends with this and friends with that, and that's a good thing, right? But you need to test them. You need to test your friends. You know, you got many people, they say, oh, I die for my friends. Yeah, I die for my brothers, you know. If you listen to all the gangster rap songs, they say, yeah, these are my brothers, these are my friends, I'm going to die for them. But when really something happens, they're not going to do this, you know. I remember more than 50 years ago, I started some music thing, and I promoted artists, you know, music artists. And one of them was a group of friends, and they made this hip-hop music. It's stupid, I hate it right now, but then I liked it. But they had those songs. Yeah, my friends are everything, and I lay my life down for my friends. Okay, then something happened. Something happened. And I was really angry. And I said, let's just stop this whole thing. The first thing I saw, all of them came privately to me and snitched on each other. And they said, yeah, no, it's his fault. And it's his fault. So I just listened to your song, telling about I'm putting my life down for my friends, you know. And something small happens and you already betray your own friends. You see, it's really easy to say certain things. But when persecution comes, then you will only find out if you have real friends. You will never find out if somebody is a real friend till something happens. I am lucky to say I have 2 friends like that, for sure. I have 2 friends. I went through a tribulation with them. I went even in a problem with them. And it came out great, you know, there was a big problem, and I'm really happy that it happened. It was not fun at the time, but now I know when something happens, this person is standing there for me. And I always appreciate that. And now I can call this person even my brother. I gave him the gospel, so they're saved also. But so this is very important to understand. Let's go to another verse, Proverbs 18:24. Proverbs 18:24. So you can laugh with people, that's fine. You can hang out, you can drink, you can eat. But when you call them their friends, really think about it. Really think about it. Okay, this part is also about you. How you should be as a friend. 18:24. It says here, a man that had friends must show himself friendly. And there's a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. You see? So if you have friends, you have to be a good friend also. Show yourself friendly. That doesn't mean only smile. That means really stand there for your friends. Really consider the problems of your friends. Really be there if they need you. Very important. You also have parasites. You know, you help them out, and they fall again, and then they only use you. You are like an option for them. You know, you got friends like that, and you know, you should be friendly. But there's no problem to get some people out of your life. There's no problem at all, because it has to be a healthy relationship. If it's only giving and you don't get anything back, that's not healthy at all. And you got many people that just see you as an option. And they say friends, and you say friend, and you think that they're friends, but they're just options. You are an option. They think like, hey, if I mess up in life, this person can help me out, right? That's not good. You can remove them out of your life. But here we see already that you have friends, you know. You have to be friendly. But this last part already says you, and there's a friend. That means that's a certain friend. That's a different kind of friend. That's sticking closer than a brother. And in a women's case, of course, as a sister. So you really consider this person as a brother. Maybe not through flesh, maybe not through blood, but how you deal with this person. And of course, when this person is saved and you are saved, actually spiritually, this is your brother or sister. But this is talking about a friend that is so close with you. So close, but in tribulation, in good times and in bad times, this person stays with you. And you need friends like that. You need them. And if you don't have friends like that, it's better to have no friends than fake friends. You know, that's one thing for sure, because they mess your life up. So they say this thing in Suriname, you know, not everybody that shows their teeth that laughs with you, right? And it's true. It's actually true. Everybody can do like this, right? And they show their teeth, but are they really laughing with you? You don't know. And I had many people around me that they swore unto God, and that you cannot swear to God anyway, but they swore unto God, I'll be there, and I do this, and I do this. And when something happens, even the number is gone. You know, you cannot even reach them. They're gone like everything. And you see it many times, you know. When problems come, you will see who your real friends are. So another friend is, you know, not even in persecution, but what if you have a friend and you both struggle? You both have financial problems, health problems, I don't know what. But suddenly, you gain in life. Suddenly you get a new job. Suddenly you get, I don't know, a promotion or something. Suddenly you get a better car. Suddenly you get your own house. So now you got friends that don't like that. They're like, no, that's not fair. If I struggle, you have to struggle with me. You got many friends like that. And a good friend also blesses you when you get blessed by God. When you get all these things, a good friend is happy for you. And it says like, hey, I'm happy for you. And really in their heart, they say, hey, I'm good at this person. He struggled so long, I'm happy for him. How many people can say that? Because most of the time you see, when you gain, this other person feels really lonely. And what do? They want to take you back to the same place they are. Is it true, right? I've seen it many times also in my life. I remember one time, it's a long time ago, I had a friend, he was older than me. I was only 16 years old, but he was older. And he got a nice BMW. It was a nice car, really nice car. Then it was a new car. So he was happy with that, and I was sincerely happy for him. I was 16, I just drove my moped, I just had a little bike kind of thing. But he had a nice BMW, it was a very expensive car, and I was actually happy for him. I was like, hey, great for you. So what happens, many years later, he had to sell it, he had just a normal car, small car, But now I bought a car. And it was a nice car also, It was not a brand new car, but it was a nice car. And I was really happy with the car. And what he said to me, I just had it 2 months, right, the car. He said, yeah, it's nice, but you really have to sell it. I said, I really have to sell it. Why? Yeah, it only brings problems. It's not good for you. You have to sell your car, you see. And then I was thinking like, hey, that kind of friend you are? It was really terrible. And then you see more things like that, right? Why can you not be happy for me? Why? Why can you have the same happiness what I had for you? And then 5 years later, you don't have it for me. So you tell me to sell the car. Otherwise, you feel a little bit less worthy, right? But that's stupid. But you got friends like that. And I always picture this hole in the ground. And if you're both in the hole and one climbs out, the other's like, yeah, but now I'm here. So they want to pull you back in at the same place. This is a bad friend and you have to remove it from your life. Let's go to the Bible again. Proverbs. And this is why it really hurts. Proverbs 25:19. And this is why it really hurts when friends fail you. When friends fail you, it hurts. And the Bible says it. Proverbs 25:19. 25:19. Because you trust them. You trust your friends. You rely on them. You're happy for them, and if they're not happy for you, it hurts. Proverbs 25, chapter 25, verse 19. Okay, this is a really good verse. Somebody gave this verse to me, and I really liked it. It is not nice if it happens to you, but it's a good verse. It says here, confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble, you see, is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. So the Bible is not coincidental. These two examples, I really thought about it long and pictured it. Like, why does the Bible give those two explanations? So first of all, we see if you have confidence in an unfaithful man, you don't know if this person is unfaithful unless time of trouble. That's why it says, when time of trouble comes, then you will see who your real friends are. And then it says it's like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Why a broken tooth? Let's go to the first one. Because when people eat, let's say you eat a chicken, right? And you eat it and it's all good. You don't think about every bite. You don't think about it. You just eat till you got a broken tooth. And now you bite this chicken and then it hurts. And what's happening? You stop chewing. You don't enjoy your meal anymore and you are in pain. Is it not true? Nobody thinks about how they chew their food unless something hurts, and then you think about every chew you take. And that's the same in life. You have your friends, you hang with your friends, you laugh with them, and you don't think about the times that they can fail you. You just automatically think that, hey, when time of trouble comes, this person is there. But then you see, when trouble actually happens, it's the same as you bite this chicken and something hurts, right? But then there's another explanation. It says, and a foot out of joint. Think about it. Even walking. Nobody thinks about walking. You just walk until your foot is out of joint. And what that means, it's out of the socket. Can you imagine that you are walking and now your foot is out of the socket? You fall down, you cannot even walk any further. So these two examples are there for friends that are unfaithful. You trust on your friends. You trust on this man or this woman. And when time of trouble comes, they fail you. And that hurts. It happened to me like a month ago. I really trust. Let's say I relied on this person to help out at that moment. You know, it was something, it had to be online. It was a whole thing. And somebody failed. Somebody failed. And I really thought like, no, this person is there. When something happens, this person is there. And he failed. And it hurts. You get offended. Really offended. And that's not a good thing, you know. So what really important is to consider your friends. You have to consider who you let in your life. Let's go to another Proverbs. It's just a little bit back in 13:20. Proverbs 13:20. Same book. So now, if you don't consider your friends, maybe these friends mess up their life, but they can mess your life up also. That's a bad thing, of course. Here it says, 13:20. He that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. What does it tell you? Right? Consider your friends. If you have bad friends, if they are bad for you, you know, if you have foolish friends, you become a fool too. That doesn't mean you get less smart, but because you hang with them, you get in the same situations. You know, when you have wise men, you become smarter. So it's not a big problem if you have friends that you can learn from. Most of the time you have friends, they pick up friends that they are less than them, right? They want to feel better than their friends. I've seen this many times. So they only surround themselves with people that are not that successful as this person. Or they surround themselves with people that are a little bit dumber than them because they can feel more smart, right? And they can feel more wealthy. Because if they have friends that gain them, or they have more money or are more smart or whatever, they feel insecure. But you should never be insecure. When I grew up, I always had friends that were a lot older than mine. A lot older. And I liked it. I liked to have friends around me that were a little bit further in life, you know? Because I can look up to that. I can look up to that and learn from that. And then you get wiser also. It hurts when you overgrow them. Because you got certain friends. You look at them like, hey, they are further in life. They are smarter. They are, you know, having their own business or whatever. And then later in life, you grow also, but this person just stays there. And then you overgrow them. And you're like, hey, what happened with you? Happens also. Happened to me a lot. And, you know, you have to walk with wise men, because you shall be wise. But the other way around, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And this is a sad thing. How many times when you talk, I don't know if you talk with the junkies or people with problems or whatever, you know, but if you talk to them, they always blame bad friends. You know, when they're an addict, maybe on drugs, or maybe have a gambling addiction, or maybe they're homeless or whatever, they always say, yeah. If you ask them, what happened? And they say like, yeah, I had bad friends. I had bad influence from friends. How many times you hear it? Many times. So the friends you have are really important, because if you get influenced, you can be destroyed. I remember a story, that was 8 years ago. It was a really sad story, but I still remember it. There is this group of people in Suriname. They make music, you know, gangster rap and all this nonsense. And they always hang in front of a corner, a yellow corner. I'm not going to name the name. But I knew them also. But they always are in problem. They're criminals. You know, they steal, they rob, they glorify themselves in those lifestyles, you know. And I remember, it was really sad. There was this young boy, maybe 16 years old, 15 years old. And he hang with them. And I think he wanted to prove himself. He was a good guy. He was not a bad guy like them. And he wanted to prove himself to the others. And then there was this service station, you know, where you put gas in your car. And they always had money in the hand, right? And then suddenly, this person, they stole the money of the other. And this boy got shot. It was a really sad situation. In the meanwhile, by the way, go to Matthew 26:20. 26:20. So this boy just got shot and he was dead. Why? Because of foolish friends. It was a really sad situation. I always remembered it. Matthew 26:20. So he wanted to prove that he was hard too, and he was a gangster too, and he wanted to do all these things, right? And he stole the money of this person, and there was a cop. He was not active on duty, right? But he had his gun with him, and he saw this thing happening, and he shot the boy, and he shot him off his motorcycle, and this boy died. And everybody said like he was such a good guy. He was such a good guy. He never hurt somebody, and I believed it. It was a good guy. But a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And the ones that were bad, the fools, they're still alive. And they do like, maybe they have a song about him, and they put some liquor on the ground for them, and then in 2 years they forget all about this guy. And then the family is still in sorrow. You see, your friends are very important. And why do you think that the story of Judas, why do you think it's in the Bible? It's so important to understand. Let's look at this. Matthew 26:20. It's about Judas, right? Jesus is sitting with them to eat. Here it says, now when the even was come, he, that's Jesus, sat down with the 12. And as they did eat, he said, verily I say unto you, that one of you shall betray me. And they were exceeding sorrowful, and began every one of them to say unto him, look at this, Lord, is it I? So stop here for a second. So Jesus just was having dinner. And he said, one of you, can you imagine, on a table, 12 people. And he said, one of you is going to betray me. And they were all sorrowful. They were like, no, this is terrible. 12 people, that's not a lot of people. That's less than that are in church, I think, or almost the same. So, and what did they say? Yeah, I think it's Judas. Did they say that? Like, yeah, I was looking at Judas. He was a little bit shady. Did they say this? Or they say like, hey, yeah, the other one, John, I don't trust him from the beginning. They did not say this. They questioned themselves. Not even somebody else. They said, Lord, is it I? They even, don't you even know yourself? They considered themselves to be a betrayer instead of their friends. Right? Can you imagine? Is it I? So this is how good Judas was, right? In 23 it says, and he answered and said, he that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall betray me. And nothing is coincidental in the Bible. Because why does this sentence say in the Bible, he that dippeth the hand in the same dish? That means some people you eat with. When you use the same bowl to eat from, that means this person is really, really close to you. When you share a dish, not even 2 plates, 1 plate, and you both put your hands in the same bowl to eat from, that means you're really, really close to this person. Is it right? I don't eat with everybody like this. I don't eat with my neighbor like this. I don't eat with many people like this. If I meet just somebody, hey, this is your plate, this is my plate. You know, when you're done, you're done. And if I'm done, then I'm done. But you put the same hand in the same dish. So this is really close. And this person, Judas, we know the story, all of us, he betrayed him. And there are really foolish sermons online now. It's ridiculous, the sermons that get outlined. The preachers, they say, yeah, Judas was a great soul winner. Judas was saved. Judas went to heaven. No, Judas is in hell. Read the Bible. And Jesus knew it from the beginning, that he was a devil. The devil entered later in him, but it's not because Judas did not have a choice. Judas was a betrayer from the beginning, Jesus said. And that's why he gave occasion to the devil to come into him. Judas was a devil from the beginning, Jesus says. So how can you say that Judas was like this best soul winner ever and he hang with them? But can you imagine? Jesus, his ministry took for 3 or 3.5 years. 3.5 years, something like this. He was walking with them, talking with them every day, winning souls. Those people were every day with each other. They laughed with each other. They hang out with each other. They slept in places. They eat together. And then this despicable thing that he betrayed Jesus. Can you imagine somebody this close? So if it happened to Jesus, somebody who is sinless, had no sin ever, if it happened to Jesus, it can happen to you also. And it does not mean that you have to be suspect of everybody. You know, they say on TikTok, sus, I hate this word, but you don't have to be suspect of everybody. I believe that as a Christian, you should give the benefit of the doubt. You should always give the benefit of the doubt till the end. And then the Bible says, if you get defrauded, well, just let you be defrauded. Pray for this person. You should love your own enemies. Your personal enemies you should love. I'm not talking about God's enemies. God's enemies you can hate. That's a different sermon. But your own personal enemies, if somebody does something to you personally, you should love them. You cannot do any revenge on your own. The Lord says, I do the revenge. So just accept this. Let yourself be defrauded, the Bible says. So if somebody betrays you, let them do this thing. You know, because the same with Jesus, Satan thought he won with this thing. He thought, hey, I'm going to enter into Judas. I'm going to betray Jesus. I'm going to let him hang him on the cross. And God died and the kingdom is mine. But Jesus knew from the beginning. He was so much smarter. He said, no, he had to die for our sins. He had to go through this. And he had to believe that the devil was winning. That's how smart God was. But, you know, Judas is even unbelievers know who Judas is, right? Even unbelievers know. And the reason is because you have to be careful about your friends. I'm going to end with the last verse. Last verse. It's a big one. Okay, let's do this. 2 Kings 20:12. 2 Kings 20:12. So I'm going to end with this last. This is there's a couple of verses, you know. And this is a story about the Bible. 2 Kings 20:12. And think about your friends. Your friends are really close to you. You know, your neighbor doesn't know as much about you as your friends. Your colleagues at work don't know as much about you as your friends. Even church members here in church don't know as much about you as your friends. Because your friends, you let in close to your husband or wife. You let them close to your children. You let them close to, you know, what job you have. They know where you work. They know what your income is. They know what you drive. It's a really important thing to understand your friends. It says here, 2012. Or did I mess up? There's a story about Hezekiah. There's 20, right? I must put this down right. 2012. You got it? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Let's read this and then let's end with this one. And let's learn from this. At that time, Berodach Baladan, nice name by the way, the son of Baladan, king of Babylon, sent letters and present unto Hezekiah, for he had heard that Hezekiah had been sick. And Hezekiah hearkened unto them, and showed them, what did he do? All the house of his precious things, the silver and the gold and the spices and the precious ointment, and all the house of his armor, and all that was found in his treasures. There was nothing in his house, nor in all his dominion, that Hezekiah showed him not. And when you read this, you're like, why? Why did you do this thing? Then came Isaiah the prophet unto King Hezekiah, and said unto him, What said these men? And from whence came they unto thee? And Hezekiah said, They are come from a far country, even from Babylon. And he said, What have they seen in thine house? And Hezekiah answered, All the things that are in mine house have they seen. There is nothing among my treasures that I have not showed them. So he was thinking that he did a good thing, right? And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, Hear the words of the Lord. Behold, the days come, that all that is in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in store unto this day, shall be carried into Babylon. Nothing shall be left, said the Lord. So this is some bad news. He wasn't thinking like, you might think like, hey, I made a mistake. Look at 18. And of thy sons that shall issue from thee, which thou shalt beget, shall they take away. And they shall be eunuchs in the palace of the king of Babylon. Eunuch is not a good thing. That means your private part is cut off. Then said Hezekiah unto Isaiah, look at this. Let's focus on this. Then said Hezekiah, we got the bad news unto Isaiah. Good is the word of the Lord, which thou hast spoken. And he said, is it not good if peace and truth are in my days? So he showed everything he had. Then the prophet of the Lord, Isaiah, said, look, it's a bad thing. Everything you have shall be taken away. Even your sons shall be eunuchs. That's a terrible thing. And then he says, well, it's a good thing. That's a good word. Why? Because he got too comfortable with his friends. He thought that captivity was a great thing. He said, well, I got peace. I don't have to fight anymore. That's the same thing. I pictured this story, right? It's the same thing if somebody tells you tomorrow a police officer comes at your door and gets you into prison. And then you say, oh, that's good. I don't have to pay rent anymore. You know, that's the same how he reacted to the story. I mean, carried into Babylon. That means imprisonment. That means captivity. That's not a good thing. But he was so accustomed to the people around him. And I'm going to stop here, but your friends. Think about your friends. You know, what you have around you. Don't show them everything. You're a Christian. You're transparent. You are honest. Yeah? You don't have to be big secrets and everything. No, but you don't have to be a fool to show everything. You know how much you have on your bank account? Or what you talk to with your wife or your husband, that's between you and your husband. You know, the things that you teach your children, they don't have to know that. There are certain things that you just keep for yourself. Don't be an idiot, because this person is really close to you. And the same as the story, when they know everything about you, how easy is it to destroy your life in a second?